My name is Tori Wilson, and I'm currently in a class called History of Food in Japan, in which we talked about the history of Japanese food, in case you didn't guess that before. But here's the thing, for our final project, our professor has given us two options. We can do a traditional essay, or we can do a creative project as long as it stays within the parameters of the class. Which do you choose? I'll give you a second. Sorry, what? Did you say do a creative project so that you have a reason to go gallivanting around Chicago trying Japanese food? Good answer. I think you read my mind, because that's exactly what I did. Still got two great interviews from Paul, the chef over at Gaijin, an okonomiyaki restaurant in Fulton Market District, and Julia, who is the owner of Kamihachi, a sushi restaurant over in Old Town. Actually has some pretty historic roots over in Old Town, and she's gotten it passed down through the generations from her grandmother, so that was also really cool. Just chatted with them for a little bit, asking them how they got into like Japanese cuisine and the backstories of their restaurants. But the main point was to talk about the globalization of Japanese food. I am an East Asian Studies major, and the reason I decided to pursue this major was because I got engaged in fan culture, and over time I just became more and more interested in the globalization of popular culture, and I really do think that food is a big part of that. Especially because they're business owners, I thought they could also add like different perspectives. The other big kind of side question was, I was wondering how similar or different their responses to the question I asked might be, especially because okonomiyaki is not a popular food in America, and yet sushi is, which was kind of the reason why I chose two distinct restaurants. And so now we're just gonna kind of hear clips of their conversation, because this is part of a bigger project, but I'm gonna just hit y'all with their responses to the main question, which is, what do you think of when you hear globalization of Japanese food? Roll film! One being, what comes to mind when you hear like Japanese food globalization, or like globalization of Japanese food?
For us, that we have a okonomiyaki restaurant. More and more, you're seeing places that are doing it, like maybe it's a Japanese izakaya, or people that are doing it, and they have it on their menus and stuff. And like we were just like my oldest son was in DC, and we were just out there and had it at this little izakaya, and it wasn't very good, right? Like, so for us, that we have one gaijin, we've always felt like it could be something you can do multiple of, right? But when it's a new food in the United States, and the stuff that's out there isn't as good as it should be,
Yeah.
it's not helping the cause, right? Like, because then like you have it, and it's like, well, that wasn't any good, right? Like, you're not going to be inclined to go to an okonomiyaki restaurant. So I think it's important to do things as well as you can.
What comes to mind when you hear globalization of Japanese food?
I think for me, the proliferation of restaurants and other cuisines that are incorporating Japanese foods and flavors into their cuisine. So I've seen, there'll be, I call them almost like mashups, I guess, if that's the term. You have like Latin food and Japanese food. You have, other cuisines bringing elements in, other restaurants that may not say they're strictly Japanese restaurants, but if you look at their menu, their basis of many of their dishes are Japanese flavor or ingredient based. So to me, that means that Japanese food is now finding its way into all restaurants. If you go into an American restaurant, you're likely to find some kind of raw tuna tartare, some tuna poke, tuna, there's tuna on every menu now, where it didn't used to be that way. There's raw products on many menus. There's many steakhouses doing sushi on their menu too. Seafood restaurants have a very strong Japanese core base. Miso-based marinades, on many of the fish marinades, different ingredients that have found their way into many other cuisines. To me, that means that's what it means to me. So you can find the Japanese influence on many other menus and cuisines.